Yeah. Yeah. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Lebo Lion with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest. Lebo Lion with the podcast. Teach you lesson cause I got class. Lebo Lion with the impact. You be lying, that's a real fact. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Lebo Lion with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest.
Welcome to the Lebo Lion podcast, the biggest marketing and entrepreneurship podcast on the African continent. Guys, today's guest is one of my favorite South African entertainers, broadcasters, powerhouses. You know, ever since I've met this woman, her beautiful and generous spirit has changed the way that I interact with people, the way that I view life, and the way that I do business. She is such a powerhouse, and I can't wait for you to meet her and learn from her and learn her story, because not everyone gets to have an interview with Ms. Khutso Theledi. Khutso.
Wow, Lebo. Wow, now you even make me feel, what a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much, Lebo, for everything, really.
Welcome to the podcast.
It's good to be here, finally.
Are you ready to have a deep conversation? Tell us about yourself.
Listen.
Share your story. Are you ready for it?
Listen, Lebo, I've been nervous to do this.
Yeah.
And I think the moment you said this is happening,
Yeah.
there was no ways I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Not only because of the great strides that you're doing and the way that you motivate me every single day. When I go on air, I think of Lebo Lion. That says
God.
it all. So I'm ready for this. I'm excited. Aifambeni.
People don't know this, but every time Khutso and I WhatsApp, have a phone call, are in the studio, we'll literally spend like 10 minutes complimenting each other, saying motivational things to each other. So if you hear that throughout the podcast, just know that this is not like for TV. You know, this is how we are together. So on the podcast, what we do is we ask people to introduce themselves.
Sure.
Because you know yourself better than anybody else. So who is Khutso Theledi?
So, Khutso Theledi, let me start with the proper introduction, how everyone knows me. And when they hear that line, they know we are going. So, loko ba butisa korofama na mano ba jwele korofama na Khutso Theledi, aifambeni. Aye, aifambeni. So, I'm a 30-year-old woman from Mpumalanga, raised by a single mother, lost my father when I was 2 years old. Have 4 siblings, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, whole lot of cousins that I absolutely love. So basically raised by a single mother, went to great schools, and in between that, this Khutso Theledi was really keen and interested in her voice being heard. And I think you've mentioned this quite a few times. I remember you mentioned this, saying that Khutso, and not only me, but everyone that follows you as well, that there's this one story I always tell people. And that's about how primary school was for me, high school was when it comes to speeches. You were that girl where people would have to leave the class so you can come in and do your speech.
Yeah.
I was exactly the same. Exactly the same. Had bad teeth growing up. Had braces for 9 years. I wear glasses.
Same.
Same. And when it came to the braces, because I used to suck my 2 fingers, it completely ruined my speech because I had a lisp. My voice was deep. So I was this Khutso who was intimidated by speaking because of the voice, being bullied for the way my mouth was shaped. And they'd call me fish face, monkey face. What? It was painful, but it was a learning experience. Building the Khutso that's sitting here today. Had it not been for those moments where people brought me down for, why is your voice so deep? Or when I call someone, is this her boy? Oh, you know, so from that.
And I'm only laughing because I also experienced that. People always say, is this a man?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but how?
And you try to zhuzh it up a bit, and you can't. So growing up, that feeling suppressed to speak up, to be who I was something that is a complete 360 for the Khutso that you're seeing now. The same people who used to bully me and tease me, the same people that are, hey, Khutso, how are you doing? You know, but Khutso is someone who loves cars. Lebo, give me any car, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm a car enthusiast. I am a voiceover artist. I am, most importantly, a radio personality, radio presenter, radio host. And it's great to be able to say this on an interview. clear my voice for this. It's also an honor to be YFM's first female drive time host on her own on the station. So this is your girl.
Yes. I have to clap for you on this one because that is monumental. People don't understand how big that is. And I want us to talk about that a little bit later because I just want to delve more into your childhood and how you were bullied and teased for being who you are. What happened? What moment? What happened that changed everything and made you say, okay, now I'm going to own this voice. Now I'm going to be Khutso Theledi.
So Lebo used to, think you mentioned the teddy bear one where you'd speak to your teddy bears. For me, I'd write down everything that was in my mind creatively and what I thought would look great on TV. I was that person who would sit with mom and watch the 8 p.m. news. See these ladies, welcome to the 8 o'clock news. How? I was like, me, I want to be that. So I started writing down scripts for myself. I would put it into our office door and I'd start reading. I'd close the door and my mom would hear me, welcome to the 8 o'clock news. You know, I was just practicing how to speak confidently and imagining there's cameras there. Then there was also a point where I'd take that element and use it at school with the public speaking, with addressing people, whatever the case may be. And I noticed how people gravitated to the personality and it wasn't about the voice anymore. So I think I started overcompensating to fill a gap that I didn't want people to notice, which was the voice. So I was just, I became more energetic. I was such a positive person. So, Khutso the positive one, not Khutso the voice one, you know? So I tried to make sure that other things started to shine apart from the voice. Sports, I was into sports. Okay, you know, captain of the netball team, played provincially as well, nationally as well, broke my knee. Then it was another, you know, situation that now I feel timid and scared to you know, wear skirts now because we went to school and we either had the option to wear pants or skirts or our dresses. And I went to a co-ed school and also went to a girls' school as well. So now me breaking my knee and I've got this scar, I'm like another situation where I have to hide from people. And I think when I left Mpumalanga, which was in 2005, and I came to Joburg, I went to St. Mary's Waverley Girls.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yes.
Okay, that's another conversation.
Wow. Now I'm nervous. I went to St. Mary's Waverley Girls, and my gosh, I'm seeing girls in these dresses. I'm like, is there no ways we can wear pants? And we went through the journey, and the ladies and the girls there, a few who judged,
Of course.
you know, but I started becoming me. I think that was a pivot in my life where I said, Khutso, this is your time to be who you are. This is a time where you need to realize there's a legacy to be left behind, and not even knowing that I was going to be in the entertainment or more of the radio industry. You know, I just thought, let me just be you. You know, the scar is only showing the battles that you've gone through, and if anything, if someone judges you for that, then so be it. But I think little things started happening in my life where I said, you know what, let's move through it, make the most of it. The voice, speech, drama, I was there, you know. So that's where the confidence started coming out. I think it was when I started believing more in myself. I started getting the courage from others, realizing the importance of a support structure in high school, and prayer. I won't even lie to you. I think prayer and the connection with my father really started when I started to self-introspect and understand my blessing and my purpose. That's when it changed.
When I hear you talk about what you've gone through, what's going on in my head is just one word. Gratitude.
Absolutely.
You are someone who genuinely and truly lives in the spirit of gratitude, but you've been through so much, Khutso. Why gratitude? There are lots of people who follow me, who follow you, who feel like, oh, Khutso's just on radio, life is easy for her. Yeah. Or Lebo just, you know, she's doing her thing, life is easy for her. So it's easy for them to be grateful. Why do you live with the spirit of gratitude?
And I don't want to give and respond with something that's like, okay, I really want you to understand. And I love the fact that you mentioned, Lebo, that people assume that you live a grand life. And of course, yes, gratitude is going to be there. I think losing my father has made me realize that time owes you nothing, that time can take away everything. Being raised by a single mother and the journey that I've personally gone through, I've gone through a lot that I haven't shared with people. And that's because it's my journey that I'm still going through as well. I think I'm grateful because I'm afraid of life being taken away from me without me being able to say I lived. I always have this thing where I think to myself, if God had to place a HD TV in front of me and say, Khutso, sit down, let's watch your life. And I'm just there complaining, crying, not changing the situations that I could have changed, being afraid of making the choices that I should have made, being afraid of the unknown. And I don't want to sit watching my life thinking, oh, Nkosiyami, I did nothing. I want to say and I want God to say, you lived your life to the fullest till its expiry date. And even with friends and family, I want you, Lebo, to say, Khutso, you're doing great. And sitting here for me is that already. It's I want to acknowledge you. And that's why I'm so grateful, is that people will take the time to invest in you. Why can't I do the same for others? Why can't I do the same for my life? I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. So I'm going to give my all right now. And that's where the gratitude comes from. Just this heartbeat here. This heartbeat here is what I'm grateful for.
I love that. With a lot of our guests with this podcast series, one theme that's been recurring is this idea that the revolution starts from within.
Yes.
You have to be the change you want to see. You have to be the energy you want to consume. And I can confidently say that, Khutso, you definitely are that, And I think that's why it's so easy to connect with you, because you're so authentic in how you do things, And the interesting thing that I've experienced from you, the very cool thing, is that you will find a way to make a bad situation good. Like, I'm always like, this is so annoying. How come she can always do this? Like, things will be burning. Khutso will find something good about it and be like, no, this is and it's not even fake. It's like real. You're really seeing that glimmer of light or hope in everything. And it's changed my attitude too. I thought I had the attitude of gratitude until I met you.
Wow.
Now I'm like, okay, adjust, So you were in high school, you were at St. Mary's.
Yes.
They were our, I wouldn't say rival school.
Where did you go to school?
To Rodine.
You went to Rodine?
So we weren't rivals, but we were definitely
Sure.
not sisters.
Yeah, no. No.
But there's definitely a culture in private schools of work yourself to the bone.
Yes.
You need to be excellent in everything you do, and actually what you're doing is not good enough. Did that culture ever impact you in a negative or a positive way? Has it changed how you do business and how you lead your career now?
Sure, Lebo, I've never had to think about what you were saying until now. And it gives me a better perspective because of the elements that you're saying, how our minds are, I don't know if I should say fine-tuned, or we organically just get into it, and this is how a private school girl is.
Yes.
Your parents come through with the best cars,
Yeah.
and or maybe you that girl who's come a long way, and you just left from the taxi or however you got to school, but there's always this change once you enter the gates, right? And for me, I went to boarding school. So it was even
wow.
worse,
Yes.
because now we are getting to see what you have from home, her bedding. It's the most littlest thing that is always judged. And there will always be those 5 girls who understand, maybe 10 girls who understand. Oh, you come from Mpumalanga, nice. Come, let's be friends. Then there's those others where you see it's a group of girls where you can't even touch, squeaky clean, rich, wealthy, but yet also still grounded. And that's what I appreciated about St. Mary's, is that I feared going to that school. And I ended up leaving, by the way. Long story, another story for another day. But the pressure was on. From here to the way that you dress. And when I say to the way that you dress, I'm talking about your paint the town reds, your social events.
Oh, yes.
You know, when the St.
Yes.
John's boys would come, Care's boys would come.
Yes.
Then you see, okay, you know. I'm glad that we didn't wear civvies because
Yes, it would have been a
it would have
disaster.
been a mess. But I think that taught me the value of not judging someone face value. Honestly, going to a private girls' school specifically taught me to never judge someone face value. Getting to know someone's story, their background, and a lot of girls don't do that. Oh, you're from Nelson? Oh, okay, cool. Your name is Khutso. Nice to meet you. Okay, you can come sit here. Let's do it. There was never a sense of family unless you had something, you know. And I'm grateful that I personally got to a point where I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. Love St. Mary so much. I love, you know, the class, my class and the people that I was in class with and who grew me, cousins, relatives who also went to the same school. But
It wasn't the fit. It wasn't the fit for you.
wasn't the fit.
So where did you go after?
Went to Penryn College. So I went back home.
wow.
I went back to Mpumalanga. And then I went to a co-ed school and Penryn College, I felt at home. Co-ed is guys. I'm a girls guy. Your girls taught me a lot. Lebo.
It's like being in the Olympics for 5 years when you go to a
Yes.
girls' school. You will be trained, you will be tested, you will be taken through the mud. And I went to all girls' schools since I was 5.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know how you did that.
I didn't have a choice.
Fair enough.
Didn't have a
Fair
choice.
enough.
And I mean, I know a lot of people watching or listening to this podcast
Yeah.
will say, oh, two privileged girls just talking about,
No.
their struggles.
No.
But you know what? I think the essence of this is about sisterhood.
Yes.
It's about judging people.
Yes.
It's about culture and what you choose to assimilate to.
And can I add to that? From me, it's definitely not from a place of privilege. When my dad passed away, and I thank him till this day, he took me through primary, high school, varsity, through what he left, his investments. And for me, that's why it meant so much to make sure that I didn't throw this opportunity away. I knew what it meant for my siblings as well. They went to great schools. I made sure that I did not take for granted, again, the word granted, the opportunities that my father left me with. That's where the legacy for me started being real. It wasn't from a place of privilege, but a place of honor to go to such a great school. And like you're saying, sisterhood, yes. But that's where you find out the true meaning of sisterhood, whether it makes you or breaks you,
Yes.
whether you are there to fix it or to leave it. And I think for me, I was intimidated I'm from Mpumalanga, I'm in Joburg, and is sisterhood, this sisterhood for me. And I think that's why I went back home to just rewire. We're in high school, you know, and I'm glad I did that because varsity made sense. From the sisterhood to the guys and the girls to the mix of everything in varsity. But I just want to make sure that the importance of privilege and also where the privilege comes from, how it came from. From me, it was from a man who sacrificed his life for where I've been blessed to be. So I didn't want to take that, and I can't take that for granted.
I love that you said that. You know, I was sitting with a few clients of mine, and a few of them are famous people like yourself, you know.
Halala.
And they were saying, they were proud of their achievements, and they were saying, we don't want to raise kids who are ashamed of being able to go to a good school or being able to afford certain things because they want to be liked by people for suffering. You know, we all go through things in life, but it doesn't mean that financially, your finances have to be your struggle. You can still go through other things, and everybody goes through struggles because, like you said, time doesn't owe you anything. Life doesn't owe you. It doesn't care if your dad's the president.
Nothing.
It doesn't care about any of that. You're a person, and you will go through what people go through.
Absolutely.
You know, and so that's very important. I think what I like about your story is you keep saying, I'm honoring my father. You know, I'm honoring the people who sacrificed for me to be here, because they also didn't come from a bed of roses, right? Your dad came from a hectic place and he built his way up.
Absolutely.
So for me, that's something I think we need to make more of a culture in South Africa of this idea that as African people, we come from really hard places and we need to celebrate the ones who make it out,
Absolutely.
because they are going to pave the way for the rest of us, So I celebrate everybody's success. I love it. I love
That you
seeing
do.
African people succeed.
Yes.
Listen, I will talk about you everywhere. Like, I am that person because I'm just like, when I'm in the room, I want the same thing, I think it's so important for us to do that with each other. So you spoke about how you love diverse groups. You love boys and girls, environments that allow people to interact. What made you so proud of your culture? Because you speak Ifambeni, we know Khutso for that.
This one is a
What
tricky
made
one.
you so proud of your culture?
Lebo, moving to Joburg again, I na kilipolan kabula, right? So when I got on air and this was breakfast, a lot of people are listening. Sort of speaking Spolan kabula, bushi, and someone tweeted me and said, Khutso, what language are you speaking?
Yeah.
Like, I'm speaking Spulan. They're like, Spulan, what's Spulan? So I'm like, I call my mom when we had a break. And I'm like, Mama, people don't understand what Spulan is. I'm so confused. Then she said, just tell them that it's a mixture of Spedi, Listsong, which I. Okay, now I'm explaining to everyone what Spulan is. There was one person that's like, Spulani. I remember that moment. Then I went to visit my grandfather. This is my mom's dad. And I was trying to explain to him that I'm doing radio now. And he's like, okay, so loko mono anbutisa koro nfama naman. Ndabajwela yini. Then I said, you'll tell them that you're going with Khutso Theledi on the radio. Here it is, 99.2, listen. And that's when I realized he spoke so much of wisdom that day and let me know about the Joburg life and don't change. You always have his Bible with him as well. And something in my head said, I'm going to take this back home. I need to bring more of where I come from. I need to bring home to Joburg. I need to bring home to the airwaves. I need to bring home to me. I said, okay, look about this. That's what Gran said. And we don't call my grandfather. He doesn't like that. He believes that you can't just be grand. You are super.
Okay.
So he says, call me super dad.
Thank you.
Yeah. So super dad. I'm thinking of super dad. I'm like, okay, look about this. That's when I started taking time to learn my mother's side of her culture, her language, Tsonga, right? My dad's side, Pulan, Nakle Pulan. So because people didn't understand what I was saying and I kept explaining what language I'm speaking, there's a few people that are like, yes, we also from home, we get you. Then I said, let me learn my mom's side of the family. So I started listening to Tsonga. I started listening to Tsonga music. And so I'm still trying to learn the language, but that's it. The fact that I could be able to say, look, Obabutisa, and speak the language and be proud of it, I am. Again, the important thing was for me to bring home to Joburg. And that was bringing my grandfather, my super dad, to who I am and to you listening.
Oh, we praise Super Dad. Because that's pretty dope. I think being connected to your culture and being able to articulate it is a privilege, depending on how you were raised. So for me, it's like, that is so cool. And you've made it to one of the biggest shows, one of the biggest segments on the airwaves in South Africa, speaking life, speaking your language, speaking that heritage that your grandfather, passed on to you. So for me, I'm like, that is pretty dope. How did you get into radio? I mean, it's not easy getting onto YFM. And you've been there and you're dominating. How did that happen?
God.
Okay.
Man, Lebo, till this day, I still grapple at how it all just came together. And people will know the story. And if you don't, I'll try and crunch it up to at least someone to understand where I'm coming from when I say God. So I I went to St. Mary's, went to Penryn College, then I went to Monash University. Wasn't really feeling my groove. my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, it's like, Khutso, you need to get into media, man. Like, you sleeping on yourself. Do something. Monash, I got a taste of that. I did a bit of a TV show, Nyana. And my sister-in-law was right all this time, and I missed that. And I kept missing people just saying, do radio, do TV, do something. Yes, Khutso, I want to be an air hostess, guys. I want to be in the air. I want to be close to Papa in the skies.
Yeah.
Anyways, I get this air hostessing opportunity. Grateful. I'm almost there. I'm about to sign. But then, taking you back, right? I left Monash and went to Boston. Boston Media House, my sister-in-law saying, Khutso, go there. We go. Register. First week of it's like orientation week, we have to stand up in class and say our names without saying our names. So whether you say, my name means peace, whatever, so we can just get a glimpse of your personality, your creativity when it comes to your name. Cool. So Mr. K calls me after our class. First
Mr.
class.
K.
Mr. K calls me after the class. He's like, Khutso, come here. I'm like, hi. It's like, you need to do a voiceover for Boston Media House. My guy, I know nothing about radio, and so I'm here. Voiceover, I don't even know what you're talking about, my man. It's cool. I've got another class. I said, wait. Let me quickly call the principal of Boston. Okay, comes through. Khutso, you've got an amazing voice. We need an open day voiceover artist now. I'm like, I don't know what to do. What is a voiceover artist? They take me into the studio. They give me a script. Okay, I'm like, I don't know. How am I meant to pitch? Like, what is this? Am I selling something? You're just selling an open day. Just be yourself and read. Cool, I read. Then he's like, okay, emphasize on particular words because it's an open day. Be excited. Like, okay, I'm excited. And then, cool, we're done with that. That ad or voiceover plays on YFM, on 5FM, Metro, and other stations. Cool. A week later, Mo Flavor calls me. I'm like, wait. Then I dropped the phone because when I got to Joburg, YFM was the first radio station that I listened to. First. Never stopped till this day.
Who was on the airwaves at that time?
Mo Flavor.
Okay.
Sol Penduga.
Okay.
I think it was Ada Rose at the time. I was there. St. Mary's, YFM.
Yes.
Boarding school, guys, YFM. There. Okay, cool. So Mo Flavor calls me. I dropped the phone. Then because I couldn't believe, I was like, what? How does he have my number? Then I'm like, oh, he's also the face of Boston. Okay. I'm like, please, can you call again? Must I call the number again? He calls again. Hi, Mo. Why did you drop the phone? Sorry, Mo. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to drop the phone on you. Okay, cool. It's fine. Cool. I just need you to come tomorrow with a demo. I'd like you to join my breakfast show.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Okay, God.
Okay, God. Just like that. Cool. I'm like, okay, no problem, Mo. Just send me your address. I'll be there. Cool. He sends everything. Same day, I've got an interview at a particular airline. I'm driving, I'm going to Tambo. Okay, interview. I get the job.
Oh.
Now, I'm thinking, okay, air hostess, radio. Am I going to go back to Boston and record this demo? Cool. So I'm like, yo, Lord, what are we doing? Are we going for this? I see the salary, beautiful salary. I'm thinking I can change my life here. I can help Mama. I can do things. Let's go with air hostess. Something pulled me back. Drove to Boston. I said, guys, we need to record a demo. So we record this demo. And then the next day, I go to YFM. Jeans, I don't know what I got a blazer from like Mr. Price. I'm like, okay, and I go. Do my own makeup. It was a mess. Then I get to the door, the YFM door. So you go upstairs. It's a door. And you see all the DJs. There's a lineup of the pictures of each and every single host. I'm like, Lord, will that be me? Yeah, with the demo. Also, I don't know what I did on that demo, but we did it. So I wait for Mo. He's still on air because he said be there at 9, right? That's the end of his show, 6 to 9. I'm waiting there. I'm looking at all these hosts, looking at More Flavor, Zama Dube. Yo, I'm looking at all of these people, Bonang, Promo Diadie. I'm like, yo, Lord, I don't know. Okay. More Flavor comes. Hey, Khutso. I'm like, hey, hi. Oh, I tripped also. I was just amazed. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Pulls me in. We go into the reception. We go into the programming manager's office. His name is Tumelo. He's like, Khutso, sit down. He has a demo mo. Like, nah, relax. Tumelo, Khutso, Tumelo. Thank you guys. Thank you for inviting me. Is that your demo? This is Tumelo. Is that your demo? He's like, yes, this is my demo. Takes a demo, throws it in the bin.
How?
Says, you'll start tomorrow.
What?
Actually, next week, you're going to start on the breakfast show. Lebo, I won't even lie to you. That moment, I realized that the importance of stepping into a room with confidence, like it's yours, for the first time in my life, when you know who you are, but you still don't know what's happening, but you still show up.
Yes.
That day, I said, God. I was dressed in his armor. He came with the shield and said, I got you. Trust me. That was on my 21st birthday.
What?
On my 21st birthday. Now, 9 years later, a week before my 30th birthday, Khutso, would you like to be the host of Drive Time here at YFM?
Wow.
So that's why I'm going to say to you that it's God. And you're absolutely right. Being in and trying to get into radio, it's not easy. It goes back to the gratitude. I am so grateful to those who believed in me from a mere voiceover to say, this girl has something, bruh. From a voice. From a voice. How? I couldn't comprehend. I still don't comprehend it, but I get it. Still don't comprehend how a voice can shift and change people's lives. You understand that. And I'm speaking to someone who understands that. But for me, I think this is a divine intervention. And I think radio is just made for me to be a part of. And it's been a scary, tough, beautiful journey. It hasn't been easy, still isn't. But I'm loving the ride. I really am. I really am. Yeah.
Coming with the tears, the beautiful tears, guys. If you know Khutso, she will cry, but it will be beautiful.
Thanks, Lebo.
But thank you for being vulnerable with us. That's such a beautiful story. I've never heard your story of getting into radio. That's so inspiring. I don't get inspired often, but that's an inspiring story because there's a saying that people like to tweet, and they say, if something is meant for you, it will come to you. You will get it. You know, and I think when you haven't fully lived in your purpose or realized it, that kind of stuff sounds like nonsense. It sounds like, okay, you're just being a motivational speaker. You're just telling me something, okay, and then what do I do, you know? But here you are. You didn't engineer any of this. You just made decisions.
Living proof of that.
Living proof of that. And having faith. Because you can't touch faith. You can't feel it. It's just something that's there, right? And you just trust it.
Absolutely.
That's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my goodness. I'm still blown away. That's why I'm taking time to ask the next question because I'm just
Take all the time you need.
What a story.
You also need a
Wow. Khutso, you've shared such a beautiful story, you know, and I love how you live in faith and you literally trust the process. Amen. But part of trusting the process is also knowing how to navigate through your career and through the corporate space, you know, because yes, YFM is a radio station for the youth, but it's a business.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So how did you sustain your career? How did you go from that moment with Mo to having the biggest show on YFM at the moment, you know? And how can young people, what should they be doing if they want to be media professionals? How do they sustain their careers? What should they be doing to make sure that they don't fall off the wagon?
Sure. Can I be honest with you, Lebo? For the longest time, even from that meeting, that signing of the contract, Through Breakfast, I've done about 10 different shows at the station until now. I've never had management. I've never had an agency. I've had assistance with PR for about a few months. Then I started still doing things on my own. And for me, it was really hard to find someone who could genuinely assist me. I've had Mo Flavor, who's been a mentor, who's been a colleague, who's been a friend, who's been a brother, who's assisted me in so many ways to say, Khutso, don't do this like this, do it like that. You know, to a point where when I was reading Traffic, right, I was a co-host and a traffic reporter. I read Ontdekkers as Onderdekker.
Where did you find that word?
My man, you know when you're reading, you see something, and you feel like you're saying it right, but it comes out right. I saw that word. I saw Ontdekkers, but Onderdekkers came out.
Yeah.
After an ad break, Mo said, Khutso, I need to talk to you. Went out of studio and he said, this show isn't yours. You've got a team. Got a team. Even the most slightest thing that you think is right, but you know is wrong, just do things right. That moment I realized the importance of a team, a working machine, being with someone who's a perfectionist at everything that they do. I respected that. That's when I realized that in this industry, especially radio, the most littlest thing, because it's live, and yes, people think that they come in to work, the show's done for them on paper, they just speak to us. No, there's so much that goes behind, from the producer, technical. And I think the support from the breakfast show that we did, you know, in 2012, that taught me the importance of making sure that everything is spot on, perfect. Getting to network and getting to meet the right people. Sometimes those people aren't the right people for you. And that's how the journey was for me for the longest time. I'm seeing my colleagues getting management. You know, there's a marketing manager, there's a PR manager. I'm like, what is that? I'm still coasting. I'm going. I'm trusting the gift, the talent, the platform. I'm trusting. Then I realized, hey, people are making moves here. How do I make moves? How do I get onto TV? How do I broaden just the radio platform I've been blessed with? And Lebo, can I be honest with you? People would come to me. It was a thing of people saying, Khutso, I'd like to work with you. And I always thought it was me going after the people. And it was coming. People are coming to me. You do traffic, right? Yeah, you're co-host. Jump on this. Like, okay. That's how I'm jumping on everything. I was like, oh, yes. But brands that made sense to me. At that time, I don't know anything about brand alignment. I don't know anything. None of that. Okay, I'm doing these little things. Now I'm starting to make a bit of money on the side. I started speaking to people at the station, and they would advise me. And there are particular things that I did wrong that I learned from. Music videos being one of them. I don't know.
Whose music video were you in?
I'm grateful that Nadia Nakai gave me a chance. Lebo Lion, a guy called Lebo Lion.
Oh, I know Lebo, yeah.
Love him. The other ones that I'm not going to mention, because hey, it's rough. You know, so there were mistakes that I was making, but Mo would always pull me in and say, Khutso, just be careful of this. Be seen here. Go out more. Going out is tough for me. But again, I'll go back to allowing myself to have done what I needed to do without being pushed a particular way. I was just doing me, you know? And when I was doing me, that's when people would gravitate. And okay, I see you. Still no management, still asking. I wasn't afraid to ask. I absolutely loved till this day, Maschaba. Followed her.
I love her too. I love her.
Twitter.
Hey.
I went on the DMs.
Yeah.
Said, Maschaba, just want to ask one question, right? And I'm not going to say, hey, Maschaba, how did you start? Maschaba, do you think it's great for me to have a manager. I work at YFM. I just need advice. No, I just asked her one question because I know her background. And I think it's important for whoever you approach to at least know who they are. Don't come and ask from the beginning what you need to know. No, you know that. It's on the internet. You can research. Cool. So I asked her one question. How can I do this? And she said, Khutso, ask. Everywhere you go, just ask. This is 22-year-old, 23-year-old Khutso. Just ask. And that's been me. Asking every single thing. If I don't understand something, why is Lebo doing this that way? I would research a particular person. I even researched the way that I just made sure I used the resources that were around me. I did. I went to events. I spoke to the right people, even if it meant waiting into the car until I saw the right person driving and parking. Then I jump out acting as if I've been here all day.
Yes.
You know, jump in, speak to them. And I'm not a loud person. I'm an introvert. It's so weird. I'm an introvert, but I love people. So I think for me, just engaging with people, asking the right questions, being at the right places, led me to understand who I am, where I fit in, how I fit in, how loud I am to be able to be heard by the right people. So essentially, Lebo, what I'm saying is that it's very important for young people, especially if they want to get into the radio space, is to understand that you can't come into a place and feel like you're going to fit into a mold that is already there in the radio space, right? For me, I didn't know who I was going to fit in and fill in for. Came in as myself, right? I made sure I showed up every single day, even if people won't even know that I was sleeping in my car. The longest time, brushed my teeth at the office and still showed up. No one will know that, right? I still showed up when I had nothing and worked my way. I asked questions. And people think that it's about the following. Is it about the voice? Is it about... You will know when a radio personality is on air that they're great, not because of their voice, but because of their personality. You are speaking to one person, speaking to Lebo. I'm not speaking to Lebo and guys. I don't know if you with someone else. You're in the car alone. You're at home alone, speaking to you. So that's been the most important thing for me, is not being afraid to ask, being in the right places for myself, right? I know where I'm meant to be. And maybe, again, it's divine. Like, I'm there because I was meant to be there. Networking, I took that for granted for the longest time, even before getting to the radio space. I met so many amazing people, and I'm still sitting to this day, gosh, I don't have Mang Mang's number. But because I've been in the industry and I've realized it's networking, the connections that you have, social media presence. Mm-hmm. You know, when I started realizing social media presence and the power that it had, so when I started seeing first month on breakfast, 10,000. What? You know, second year on breakfast, 50,000. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't understand the rapid growth of my social media. That's because I was always just being myself, and every tweet that I tweet, and I know this is what you also do every morning. I feel like your tweet will go out, mine will come out. But every tweet that I tweet, I'm tweeting to myself.
Yes, yes.
Do you know, Lebo, I feel like I'm going everywhere with this answer.
No, you're not. You're not.
You know, when I realized that I need to start making my page a reflection of who I am, was when someone did say that you just need to understand how important your social media space is, how clean it is, how relatable it is, how your personality can shine from off air to socials. And I sat down, I thought to myself, yo guys, if I had to go today and my last tweet was, damn it. Damn it. I hate that man. and I'm gone. That's what I'm leaving you with. Those are the screenshots. Her last tweet. I said, no, I'm going to change this up.
Yeah.
And that's when I started speaking to myself through the tweets. That's when people would, hey, what you're saying is relating to me.
Yes.
And I was like, wow.
And now here you are on a list.
Hey.
Top 200 most influential voices on Twitter.
And that also, I didn't know. I did not know.
Come on now.
It's
Come
bizarre.
on now.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. But it's well deserved.
Thank you.
You know, I think what you shared now in the story about social media is something that is so underrated. This idea that this is part of your identity. It's not just a plaything. It's not just a place where you try to be cool. Because like you said, you can die the next day. Your next client could be looking. You know, the next young person who's inspired by you could be watching this and thinking, this is the blueprint, you know? So you do have a responsibility to
100%.
yourself and to others to make sure that what you're putting out there is something you're proud of. You know, not necessarily, it's not a PR thing. It's literally about you being proud of yourself and saying, I'm so happy to see this page. I actually like this person's voice, you know, whatever that might be for the next person, and it's permanent. People don't understand how permanent social media is, you know. There's some shows you did 6 years ago that we don't remember now.
Correct.
But there will be tweets that somebody finds the day.
Facebook will remind you.
Facebook will remind you.
Come
you
with
know?
the memories, yes.
And you're here, you're successful, you're the first woman to have a drive time show on YFM, and you're not twerking on your page. You are speaking your mind and using your voice that got you to that seat. I mean, that is profound. In a world where there's so much pressure to do the latter, you're like, nah, I'm just going to keep, not to prove a point. You're just being yourself.
Staying in my lane.
Staying in your lane.
I respect the lanes that people are in.
Yeah.
I respect mine, and you know I love cars, so I understand what it means to respect the fast lane.
Yes.
To respect the slow lane. You know, I understand it. Literally, that's my reality every single day. I am not going to do something that is not me. I'm not going to attend an event that is not me. I'm not going to waste anyone's time. I don't want my time to be wasted. I respect each and every single person that I interact with on social media, because I know that they've got a life. They've invested the time to engage. And not only that, but also just realizing that sometimes it's okay to sit on the side and just watch, you know, just watch what's happening. And somehow, somewhere, your time will come to be part of this thing. And I think that's been me as well, is that just watching from the sideline. I don't need to, like you're saying, do the things, although I love to rock my crop tops.
No,
you know?
you're fly.
Yeah, thanks.
That's your thing.
Thank you.
Every time I come to the studio, I'm like, Ish, man, summer's coming, guys. I need to get crop top ready because Khutso every day, she's coming with these clothes. And you look fly, you know, and that's a good thing, you know. It's who you are. And I think the point that I was trying to make was you didn't try to be somebody else, you know. You were like, but I'm Khutso with a voice. My voice sounds like this. This is how I'm going to tweet. You know, you didn't say, this is what will go viral, so I'm going to tweet it. You know, you didn't say, this is what people are going to like about me, so I'm going to tweet it. You were just like, let me share.
Organic, authentic. I cannot. Sure, we can have a team and strategize what we're going to do to make something go viral. But like I said, I've never had management in my entire life until recently. 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
You know, finally found someone who understands that element and that part. Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
First day, Lady on Drive. Woo. How was that? How was that show? What happened?
First day, the Lady on Drive. And a lot of people in the beginning obviously asked why the Lady on Drive. So when I went to St. Mary's, they couldn't pronounce Theledi.
Really? Oh, Ghana, yeah.
So, so they'd say, thy lady.
What?
Yeah, that was the first time marking registration. Khutso Theledi.
Why are private schools always swearing at our names?
I was
Theledi is so simple.
Simple, right?
It's so simple.
She said the THE, the a lady. Like, okay, that always played on my mind, and a lot of people always say, "How do we pronounce your surname? Is it the?" They'll always say the. So someone was like, when the lady.
Yeah.
It's like the lady. That okay, cool. Just switch it up to lady. Then,
Yes.
Khutso the lady, sharp. Sure, the lady. I fambeni. A lot of people would say that. People would also say KT. I don't like my beauty.
KT?
No.
What does
Khutso Theledi.
Oh,
No.
I see it. Okay.
And they started calling me Mazet because
How?
Zanele. It's Khutso Zanele Theledi.
Wow.
Mazet. I said, no, it's not working.
Yeah, that one can be cancelled. Mazet is a no. Never that. Don't do it ever. Don't ever call Khutso Mazet, guys. It's not gonna work. It's just wrong. Jesus. I mean, it's not the way.
It's not the way. Okay. So the lady part always stuck out, and it was a petrol attendant. I even forgot his name. It's like, sure, the lady. I'm like, You're the one. You're the one.
Yeah.
I love that. It stuck with me. So I thought to myself, let's do Khutso the lady. Cool. So obviously when the show came and the moment where they sat me down and asked me if I would really love to, take on this role and this honor of being the host of Drive Time, my heart stopped, Lebo. Like sitting across our MD. But it was so weird because I already had the show name. And a lot of people would say that Khutso, even when you say, Loko ba butisa ko rofama na manu ba jwele ko rofama na Khutso Theledi ai fambeni. By the way, to translate it, when they ask you who you're going with, just tell them that you're going with Khutso Theledi. Someone said, do you know that every single show, every time you say that, you're manifesting. You manifested this Drive Time show. Done every single show at Y. Every single show. The only thing that was left was for me to do a show, a flagship show that is my own ownership. And she said, this is our MD. She repeated the exact same words that people will always say, you manifest, let's go. It's time for you to go. Not out of the station, but next level. I said, nah, Chief, I'm not ready.
You said no.
I'll tell you why. In my mind, I really wanted to complete the 10-year mark of not continuing at YFM. I wanted to finish at 10 years. Comfortably where I am, happy and grateful, understand my listeners, I understand how they understand me. 10 years, I'm good at YFM. And she had to come and say, Khutso, it's time. I did not expect it. I did not come and go into Schoa.
It happens to all of us.
I did not go into that office thinking that would be speaking. I legit thought, Khutso, contract is coming soon. Because obviously with radio, we work on a yearly, conversation. And that's the scary part, right? That's how much pressure you're under as well to make sure that you do the things that need to be done in terms of conversations and opportunities. Don't take them for granted. Milk every opportunity that you have, right? Okay, Khutso, you'll give us an answer. Just think about it. Like, I've planned my life. There's 4 other radio stations that, have given me also a beautiful opportunity. Khutso, this is Drive Time. And we want you to do it on your own. And, Lebo, I won't even lie to you. I just got goosebumps. I started panicking. Like, what? Left that office. The next day, they needed the answer. All in 2021, during a pandemic. And God says, a week before you turn 30, baby girl, you're going to be driving the station. Took me a week, took me 2 weeks to respond. I needed to speak to those close to my heart for support, more flavor. Our previous programming manager, I just needed someone to help me to understand what is happening because I couldn't believe. I'm thinking about the team. Wow, what? Where do we start? It's like, you're driving an entire station. Me, a flagship show. Na, Khutso Theledi. Wawujabushi. I was like, no ways. I couldn't believe it. And I had a conversation with my dad. I went to his grave and I just spoke to my dad. I was looking at his tombstone. When you speak to someone so deeply. I even thought I saw his eyes coming through the tombstone. That's how deep it was. I was like, I'm seeing you, Papa, just talk to me. And he said, and also someone repeated this as well. And that's when I knew that was confirmation. He said, do you realize that if you don't take this wanaka, you'll be giving your blessings to somebody else. A week later, someone else said the same thing while I was still trying to search the true answer, that it just comes to me. If you do not take this opportunity, you'll be giving someone else your blessing. I say, you? What do I do now? That was the answer. We tend to give away our blessings to the next person because of fear. And Lebo, I told myself that I need to get out of my comfort zone. If not now, then when? If not you, then who? Who is more deserving than you right now? Something said, okay. But that okay wasn't enough. It just felt like you're just doing it just because you heard. If you don't take this blessing, is going somewhere else. Then my mom, she didn't know at that time. She calls and says, Wana Kamara, when are they moving you to a bigger show?
That time you had practically the bigger show already. And she says, when are they moving you to a bigger one? Okay, Mama. I hear you.
I hope Mama listens to this and watches this. Then, Mara, when are they giving you something, I was like, yo, Mama. Okay, sure. And I knew, man, this was not just for me. It was for my family. It was for the hard work. It was for the tears, the sleeping in the cars, from, asking for help here and there, even though I'm scared. I'm such a scared person to ask for help. It was for those at Boston Media House. It was for the woman in me, the young girl who was pushed down so many times and afraid to rise. This was for me, an opportunity to love me, for me, and realizing that you're actually good at what you do. This is it. This is it. Batho ba go rata le wena o rata batho. Do it for them. Do it for the 7-year-old Khutso who almost wanted to take her life at such a young age, because Papa wasn't there. Do it for her. And that was the yes. That Khutso, do it. And the Lady on Drive, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. is what it is now. And I'm so grateful at the station till this day for the belief that they have in me for the opportunity that they've given me, for the trust that they have in me, to allow a woman, first time on her own, on why to do it. And I pray that I continue to give my all. It's hard. It is hard. But it's the co-host that I don't have, who is the listener, that pushes me, that drives me, that gives me that ifambeni. And it's a big switch from what we used to do on, our previous show, 9 to 12, Crunch with Khutso. Such a big switch. Now it's just fast-paced, it's energy, it's in, out. So yes, I do miss those opportunities of getting to speak to the listener in that feel and that tone. But drive time, hey, we're going, So I'm also learning. I'm still, till this day, asking for advice. I take people's feedback, and that for me is the biggest. And I think in radio, that is the biggest that you can appreciate and take from people. My blocking has been on fire. Been blocking, but I see they things. Take it in, absorb it. It's feedback, right? And I block, move. So I'm learning every single day. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it, but I'm learning and I'm grateful. This is where we're at.
This is where we're
This
at.
is where we're at.
I love how you speak about the principle of being teachable and always learning. You're never too successful to learn. You're never too successful to grow. There is no ceiling.
No.
You keep going. You keep getting higher and higher and higher and closer to God.
Absolutely.
And, from my short relationship working with you at Y on your show, thank you for the honor and the privilege to do that.
Thank you for saying yes. How intimidated I was.
Were you intimidated?
I was like,
why?
Lebo. You know why? Lebo, there's something about you that I don't even think that you even understand yourself.
Okay.
Can I
Please.
Can I interview you now?
Interview me.
Your mind and the way that you move with your words shake my heart and my soul. And that's why, for me, when Lebo Lion and Khutso Theledi, I was like, this woman is something else. And even when I started following you on Twitter, I think someone tagged you on something of mine. I'm like, why are they tagging Lebo Lion? I go onto your Twitter page, the Voice of Africa. I see your tweets. The Voice of Marketing. Okay. I see your tweets. I'm like, oh, this lady is something else. I go onto Instagram. You're one person that I feel like I wish I had when I started in the media industry, when I started out on social media. That voice, when it comes to, besides marketing, you, Moto. And I want to say thank you to you for being...
There you go.
Literally,
there
my
you
voice.
Go with it.
No, I'm serious. I'm
Oh
serious.
my goodness.
I'm so serious. And
Yeah.
if I don't say it, someone else will, and that should have been my voice speaking to you. You are such a breath of fresh air, powerful air. I know that a lot of people tell you that you're going to go places, and you are. And I want to be there, I want to be there and just learn. From afar, it's fine. We're here today. But when you said, yes, Khutso, I'd love to be a voice from, the marketing side, business side to entrepreneurs. I was like, wow. Khutso, if a label can say yes to you, girl, you've got something. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a voice for the voiceless, for making me understand more than just social media, but who I am, unapologetically so. You come onto an IG live. The first time I saw, she had no wig on. I was like, huh,
No
this
makeup.
is what I'm talking. No makeup. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I love you. I love this girl. Putting hearts there. I'm like, yes. Because of, you just say, throw away that, let's be real, guys. How often do you come across people like that? Now? Barely. who can be open. So I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be a part of your platform, your space, and for mentoring me from afar.
Oh, goodness.
Really, really, for free at that time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, we were so excited when you said yes. And we were like, Khutso even knows who we are? Like, oh my goodness. You know, I was literally so shocked. And I was like, okay, we cannot mess this up.
Your team.
Such a great opportunity, but also such an incredible human, you know, because we work on vibes at the end of the day. The energy is everything. And you can be great, but if you don't work with people who vibe with you and who are on that wavelength, you'll miss each other, you know. So I'm thankful. I'm so happy that I met you. I don't know how we came together at this time, you know, but I really feel like we have a very unique connection, and it allows both of us to learn, to grow, to create more and to create different, you know. So thank you so much. It's also fuel, your kind words, your encouragement, everything that you do, Khutso, you know. Even the fact that she cries every time we have a conversation. It says to me, okay, Lebs, you need to be a little bit more sensitive, you know, because I am not that person.
And I love how you explain that so nicely, even. Like, it's so nicely, Khutso. I really want to be like you and show, you know, that thing. It's there, girl.
Yeah, it's just not going to come out in tears.
Come out.
It's just, I'm not that girl.
I'm not that girl.
I feel it's just deeply, very deep.
I love that, though. I love that.
But, you know, your spirit of let me bring somebody up when I'm in a space reminds me of this Maya Angelou quote. I live by this. I come as one, but I stand as 10,000.
Whoa. Did
You
we
know?
not have this discussion, like 2 days ago?
Probably, yeah.
We were talking about when you rise, I rise. Maya Angelou, absolutely.
Yes.
There's no ways for me. And Lebo, if me sitting here right now, our drive time show, and I keep saying ours because it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to everyone who's put me here. It's those 10,000, 100,000 of women, men, young people who imagined a dream for themselves, right? But also celebrating someone else's dreams coming true. For me, I find that amazing and beautiful. That saying, it's just giving me goosebumps because Lebo, when you are for the people and then the people are for you, when women see themselves in you and you see yourself in other women,
There's nothing you can't do.
the sky is not the limit,
Yes.
in all honesty. And I've learned that. I will take that and say yes. There are people who are willing to support a dream that isn't even theirs, but celebrate you and applaud you. What's so hard in doing the same for the next person? What's so hard in being kind? What? That's what also just breaks my heart, is just people not understanding, like we're talking about social media platforms and how words can either make you or break you. You know, back in 2012, I'd always walk into studio saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me, from whoever it comes from. But that saying right there is what has put me here, because of people who believe in when one rises, we all rise together. Yeah.
I think so many people don't understand, and maybe our conversation will help them see what that looks like. Because they think, okay, Khutso's here, so if I ask, she must say yes. You know, because we all bring each other up. And it's like, no, you can't be entitled to it. It's energy. It has to just happen in its own divine timing, you know. But I really believe that when somebody else tries to live their calling and their purpose, that God will slot the right people in there, you know? And also that in you being great, you are the vehicle that's reaching spaces that other people can only do through you. Because not everyone can be on YFM drive time. It's never going to happen, you know? There'll always be a very small percentage of the population that can be in these important rooms. And for some people, they'll only ever be able to be in those rooms through you. So you carry something big as a person. It doesn't matter what you do, where you come from. What you're doing, you're carrying it for many people. And just that existence is what's bringing other people up. It's not you calling people and say, come. If someone wants to come, they'll come to you. Absolutely. You know, if somebody wants you there, they'll fetch you. You can't force it. It is organic, like you've been saying. Okay, so if you could speak to younger Khutso now, knowing what you know, what would you tell her?
Ooh. Hey, Khutso. Wanwa roll japi. I'd always start with that, right? Because, again, the importance of my father came from a very young age, and his presence was really important to me from a very young age, even though he wasn't there. Always acknowledge the presence of my father, firstly. If I could tell you right now, Khutso, believe it or not, you're going to be driving a province, a country in your dream car to where they need to be. Believe it, Khutso. You dream of owning a gusheshe, you'll have multiple.
Tata.
They will come after you. They'll say what needs to break you so you don't succeed, but realize that those people who are trying to break you and mold you and craft you into who they want you to be are the same people that will need you at a time. Khutso, be at peace. Live your name. Live your name. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Embrace fear. Because fear is what's going to drive you to your greatness. Don't be afraid of your gift, your purpose, and your calling. This purpose will make you cry. This purpose will see you in different places where you see people differently and in their true element, but do not judge because you're no better than them. You're not greater than them. We're all equal. So, Khutso, go out there. Be the best that you can be at every moment. And when God puts you behind that flat screen HD to see your life, make sure you smile at every moment. Make Papa proud. Carry the Theledi surname proudly. Be happy. Don't be afraid to date differently.
Hey.
You know. Be loyal and true and kind. No matter who it is, where they're from, where they come from, embrace them. You are the people and the people are you. Be kind. And God has got you. Ooh, the divine blessings and miracles that are going to happen, you won't even know. You won't even know how. But it's God and it's your dad. That's what I'd say to Khutso.
And hi, Famben.
Oh, yes. Oh.
With that.
Let me teach you this before Schoa kills your whole tongue. Let me teach you this. Loko ba vutisa ku ri u famba na mani.
Loko ba vutisa u ri famba na mani.
U ba byele.
U ba byele.
Hey, can we take that again? Okay. Loko ba vutisa ku ri u famba na mani.
Loko ba vutisa u ri famba na mani.
U ba byele.
U ba byele.
Ku ri u famba na.
Ku ri u famba na.
Khutso Theledi.
Yes, Famben. And with that, thank you so much for gracing us with your beautiful presence on the Lebo Lion podcast. I think you're going to change lives with just your story and everything you've shared today. Thank you so much, Khutso.
Can we do this again anytime?
Absolutely. 5 years from now in Dubai.
Ooh, I love
On a
this.
yacht.
I love this. I love it. Lebo, thank you so much. You are absolutely amazing. What an honor.
Thank you.
You listen cause I got class. Lebo Lion with the impact. You be lying, that's a real fact. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Lebo Lion with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest.